Hello YouTubers, it's been a minute. So we're going to ease back into this video thing with like a fun little video today. Should be pretty quick. We're going to rhinestone some perler beads. So these are the little plastic beads you melt together. We are going to rhinestone them. It's a fun, quick little sparkly project on my quest to rhinestone everything in the world. So let me go show you what you need. Alright, so you need your little plastic pegboard and then your beads. Your perler beads. Now what I did is I bought a set of all of the different colors. When I bought it, I think it was about $30. I think it's about $40 now. So it's got all the different colors in it. And then as I've done more patterns and needed more colors, then I've bought additional colors that I either didn't have or I've gone and bought the bigger bags as needed. I'll leave links down to this where you can get it on Amazon, the big, huge set of all of them, plus the individual little colors you can buy as well. You can also sometimes find them in the craft stores, and sometimes they'll go on sale as well. But all of the colors, I just normally order them off Amazon. And then we're using the standard perler beads. They're big. They have these that are called mini beads, and I think these are an act of torture. They're very, very little. So you can do the same thing with this if you like this kind of torture, but if you don't, I would stick with the bigger beads. You're also going to need a board that goes with those little tiny beads as well. We're going to use resin rhinestones today. They're the more budget-friendly rhinestones for this, and since essentially they're not going to be touched a lot, I tend to stick to the resin ones for this. Glass, I stick to things that are going to be touched and handled a bunch. So these are rhinestones. They're 5 millimeters, are SS20 rhinestones. Those are the ones that are going to be the right size for this. And then we're going to use the very fancy, this is a lipstick applicator, and I'm using Liquid Fusion for this. There's any number of glues that will work for this, but this is what I'm going to use, and then the good old wax pencil as well. Now I've been getting my patterns from a Instagram page called Baba O Pearls. I'll leave a link down below. They have these series of little Pac-Man ghosts, so it's like a minion, a Mario ghost, Mario Shy Guy, it's a Mario Lakitu. And so I've been working on making these. We're just gonna make a standard ghost today. He also has ornaments, and that's where this idea started from. Was I love the perler beads for like Christmas ornaments, but they're kind of not sparkly on the tree. And so see all the hearts he's got too. And that's where the idea for the rhinestoning them came from. So see, he's got all of these different ornaments if you want them to. So I'll leave a link. He has a lot of really fun stuff. You can also find patterns on Pinterest. Pinterest has a lot of patterns too. You can just type in, you want Mario perler bead patterns, anything will come up, Christmas, all of it. So let's go make our ghost. And this is what I was showing you. See the little holder up top for the ornament, and then you can put on this tree and it will sparkle. And that's what I originally was gonna do, and then we ended up with the little ghost. So I think I'm gonna make these into magnets. So I actually work from the outside in and from like this bottom corner up. But it really does not matter. One other thing, when you're buying your perler beads, I absolutely hate like that giant bucket where they're all like mixed together. To me, it's worth spending extra money to buy them in individual little colors, because trying to pick out the color that you want is really annoying. The little Pac-Man ghost, I finished him up, and then I like to use a Teflon sheet. Do know that if you use a Teflon sheet and not like parchment paper, it tends to give your design a shiny look, I guess is the best way to describe it. So just know that if you want a duller finish, you're not going to see it if you do rhinestone it, but if you're not, the Teflon gives a shiny look. And then I like to use a little Cricut mini. An iron will work too, and then we iron until they melt. one thing I didn't know until I started looking into this a little bit more, there's multiple different techniques for melting. Some people tape and tape the back and then put holes in it and then flip it and then melt it. There's several different ways, so if you don't like this way, you can go either do it the way you want to, or there's other videos on how to melt these guys together on YouTube. I like to put the good old Bath & Body Works candle on top, just something heavy to make sure that it cools down and is flat. Alright, so once it cools down some, it'll just peel right off of your Teflon sheet, and see, it gives it like a shiny, I'm talking about a shiny look. Now, I have been rhinestoning on the part that we've melted. If you want to rhinestone on this part, keep in mind that you would have to flip your design. So but we're just gonna rhinestone on this part. The correct way to do this would be to sand this little guy and then clean him with alcohol. I'm gonna do that because we are making this video together and I want to show you the correct way to do it. However, in the future when y'all are not watching, more than likely we'll just skip this step. So this will help promote better adhesion for your glue, but if they're not really handled that much, this isn't really that big of a deal. So a little light sand, and then we're going to clean it off with rubbing alcohol. So the cool thing about this is we're going to put a rhinestone over each little hole. So the nice thing about that is it's kind of hard to mess up. So you can pour some glue into a paper plate if you would like to. I just kind of dip in and put it on my lipstick applicator here so that less mess. And I've got blue and red, or blue and black here. Now, I like to work in little sections here. And also keep in mind when you're working to not put your fingers back in your work. So if you're going to do this section, keep in mind, like, you're not going to want to do this section because you're going to have to hold it here and then you'll move all your rhinestones around. So that's what I mean. Also, more glue is better because this tends to dry fairly quickly. I'm also sitting under a fan because it's a bit toasty in the south this time of the year. So, and then you just pick up and place. Now these are just resin rhinestones. They're from a shop called BlingeeThingee. She has a shop on Etsy. And this is sky blue that I'm using in black. Now you can use AB stones, which have the coating on them. Our little ghost here is AB, so he's got the extra special like sparkle coating on him. And then our minion here has metallic on him, the silver. These she calls silver bottom because they just have the silver bottom on them. And they're not as sparkly as those AB coated ones. So it's all up to personal preference as to what you're going for. Now, the glass rhinestones, if you're really making like really traditional ornaments, the glass rhinestones will be sparklier. That is a word. They will sparkle more, but they are more expensive. So, whatever is in your budget and whatever it is you want to do. Now, ideally, what I like to do is have multiple ones of these, or multiple things I'm working on rhinestoning. And so what I like to do is let this dry and then come back. Because the problem with these is they're not very big, and it's very easy to put your hands in it. And then you've moved around your stones, and then if you try to find it and move them back, you can run into problems. So that's what I tend to like to do is work in sections, let it dry, and then work in more sections. But basically all you're going to do is keep going until you've covered your little ghost. And there is our little ghost all done. Liquid fusion will be dry in a couple hours, and then they say 24 hours for complete curing time. I would let it sit a little bit more than that, especially if you're going to let a kid handle it a lot, but it should be good to go after that. And for the most part, they seem to be on there really well. Now, if I diligently picked, I probably could get these off eventually, but it's not something I'd want to do. So make sure your rhinestones are in the right place and that your lines are straight. And also, be aware, if you give it to a kid, they can eventually take them off, but they'd have to work pretty hard at it. So what I'm going to do is this is, I think, Blossom. I'm going to glue magnets on the back of them like I did with her. I just have to wait for some to come in the mail. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Keep an eye out for some shorts where we're going to probably make some Christmas Mario ones too. I'm a big fan. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be back with another tutorial soon. Please like and subscribe and share and all that stuff. And thank you so much for watching.